Hey, everybody, Joe Theismann here. You're listening to SGPN. So do this. Let it ride.
Cox.
He's one of those guys who will get penetration.
Ooh, welcome everyone to the Sports Gambling Podcast. I'm Sean, second the money green with my partner in picks, Ryan, Real Money Kramer. What's happening, Kramer dog?
We're side by side. I got the sound effect right here too.
Dog.
There was some lack of dog performances on the turkey day. There were some turkeys. There were some ducks. There weren't too many dogs on Thanksgiving. Bottom line. I'm back.
Yeah,
I survived the
refs
desert.
are pretty rough, but your Giants, Ryan, got the cover. That was all that mattered. A 10-year-old nephew got him his first betting ticket. Kept being really hyped about the money game. I got him a Giants +10 ticket. He was really he was into it for the first quarter. Then played Roblox for a while. Came back, and then we had to eat dinner right as it seemed like, oh, maybe a miraculous cover, turned it back on, and they had covered the spread. It was really a dream come true.
And hopefully you stuffed Richie James into your DFS lineup, got a little backdoor. Sean, the lineup I gave out on the show did cash for $40, top 12,000. Yeah, but it was like I should have had McKenzie and not game day. If it was a 2v2 from a million, but ownership was out of control. I don't know if you looked at it. But like most of the players we gave out were like 30-40+% ownership.
Yeah, it's the 3-game full slate can be tough too. Shout out to Jeff Kulik in the YouTube chat saying Sean and Ryan are the Guns and Roses of YouTube. Just always
what does that mean?
The fans waiting for us to go on. Appreciate that. Shout out to Chris Morrison. Much love from Canada. Let it ride, baby. Canada, unfortunately, down. They were 1-0 in the World Cup, and then seems to be falling apart. But we're here to talk about real NFL. Answering your questions. Andy in the chat saying Mike White versus Trevor Siemian. Let's get into it. As predicted on the NFL Pick Show, Ryan, I said Justin Fields would not be starting. He is not. Trevor Siemian is. I mean, I think you almost have to take the Bears because Mike White, can he really be this big of a favorite?
Why did we take the Bears to begin with?
Yeah, because we said
it didn't seem like it would make sense to be sitting here Sunday in any of the scenarios, and for there to be the Jets laying all these points. All of that being said, it is still a good Jets. I mean, if we were handicapping this game today, we would say the Jets defense is the best unit on the field, and it's really hard to trust anyone else. I don't know. Mike White's going to go off though. That Bears defense is horrible. I think we're going to have a Mike White game. We're getting a sweet post game press conference where we get reminded of how swaggy Mike White is.
And that being said, I do like Mike White in DFS because of how bad the Bears defense is, and he's only 4,900. So I did a stack with Mike White, Michael Carter, because Michael Carter did have a 9-catch game with Mike White and Garrett Wilson. Now you can make a case that Elijah Moore he's viable, I think, at $3,500 as well. I'm going with Garrett Wilson, but then you free up a ton of salary to, if you want to go Waddle and Tyreek Hill. There's really a ton of stuff you can do. So I do think Mike White's an interesting fantasy play considering how bad the Bears defense has been. And Michael Carter should be good. Need some locks. My lock was the Giants +9. They close +10, but then I also really do like the Ravens -3.5, even though it is super chalky.
I was gonna say that happened in the past. You can't do that tout thing where you tell people about a lock that already happened. I like the Ravens though. I mean, I feel like I've been on a bit of a cooler, so not good that I like the pick you like, Sean.
Well, and I a lot of the what turns out a lot of these sides I like the more chalky side. I mean, we can get to it. The Chargers game, I like the Chargers there. Now laying 2.5. I think I bet it at 3. The line moved down because an injured Kyler Murray is playing. Yes, please. I mean, normally I'm not one to lay a non-conference road favorite, but I mean, Kyler Murray coming back and not being 100% healthy. after a long, Thanksgiving weekend where he had a lot of time in his gaming rig. I mean, what am I missing?
Well, you're missing the fact that they spent the time, Sean, getting on the same page, which is code for Kyler and Cliff were playing Call of Duty together. I think they realized that it could be a successful recipe if you're not doing it alone, Kyler. So yeah, I mean, it's still hard to not look the direction of the Chargers, but I did when I heard the news, which obviously someone from within the Cardinals is leaking, or maybe it's Kyler's camp leaking some positive thing about how they're not going to be yelling at each other now. They made up. I mean, come on, if we were in, I mean, this is a nominee for just this week's days of our league, because it feels like they went on a retreat and now they're lovers. Now they want to get married. Now everything's fine. Yeah, fade all day. A lot of words.
All right, we got our first fantasy question, and again, feel free to pepper in the fantasy questions. Evans or Kirk PPR flex. This is tough because I do think Christian Kirk will get an insane volume against the Ravens, and he does seem like the only guy that Goldilocks seems to throw to. Although Evans, how do you go against him? He's also up for some receiving yardage award, like first guy to get to 10,000 or something. So, Brady's always good to get his boy there. But the Browns, their biggest weakness is rush defense. So it seems like with Leonard Fournette out, it's going to be a massive Rachaad White game. What's your handle on this, Ryan? Kirk or Evans?
It probably a good time to bring out the weather reports. I just, there's a lot of games that could have bad weather, maybe a little, like potentially some rain. I know Cleveland, it's maybe looking like no rain now, but I would look to, like, Rachaad White's fun, but I definitely would go Kirk just from a volume standpoint.
No, it's Mike Evans or
that's what I mean.
Christian Kirk.
That's what I mean. Like the rain, the potential of weather in Tampa. I hear the angle of Tom Brady trying to hook up his.
It's in Cleveland, but yeah.
What did I
say? Tampa game.
Yeah,
you said
bad weather
in Tampa.
Oh, I'm sorry. Bad weather in the Tampa game potentially. Yeah. So that would keep me off of it. Plus, coming off the bye, I think if you're a Jacksonville team, you're going to see like, hey, what worked for us early in the season? It was Christian Kirk, and Baltimore still has a defense that lets you beat them through the air if you can protect the quarterback. So that's the angle there, and it's the one game where it's going to be nice and hot. So we're having a flow ride a game. Remember, Sean, Lamar shows out in Florida, so.
He does. He is showing out, or has shown out in Florida in before. Research Spherical Earth says he needs a Christmas shopping is expensive parlay. Ryan, do you want to give out your first half parlay?
Seems like a decent time. Seems like something I could do. All right, so we just went full money line. It's going to pay you 34-1. You hear that, Sean? 34 to 1.
I'm listening.
Normally they're about 20 to 22. So we're still going 5 legs. Carolina money line, Baltimore money line, Atlanta money line, Cleveland money line, and Tennessee money line. Sean, that's going to pay you $100 will pay you $3,412. Shout out to me for crafting that bit of value.
Black Kirk Cousins wants to know, are we laddering Jeff Wilson rushing yards? Yeah, I mean, with Mostert out, how Jeff Wilson looks like a great play there. Ryan, yeah, so I'm all in on the Jeff Wilson stuff. I guess the only counter is that Miami also has a really good opportunity to pass against them as well. So it's like, which one are they going to go for? But I do like the fact that Jeff Wilson will get the majority of it. We have a fantasy quandary in our own fantasy league, Ryan. I swapped in Keenan Allen for Josh Palmer. I assume you're on board with that, or what's your take?
I mean, I think at some point Keenan Allen plays and Keenan Allen does something, right? And this certainly projects to be a game where he could do that.
Yeah, I mean, Palmer came off that massive game last week. Now Keenan Allen, after one week of getting healthier, you would think this is going to be the Keenan Allen game, right? But do we start Josh Palmer over like George Pickens?
No. You want to start both, don't you? I've gotten the vibe that you want to get a Palmer and Keenan Allen in the lineup together.
No, but I think it's worth considering just because there's a version where they go off like both of them against this Cardinals passing defense.
Yeah, I mean, then if we're having the conversation of Keenan Allen, so if we want to, we will ask the audience the question. They don't get to ask the question here. So you get to start 3 of these guys: Keenan Allen, Josh Palmer, George Pickens, or Christian Kirk. Who you starting? To me, you lock in Kirk and Allen, and you figure out, like we're deciding, Pickens or Palmer. I think a lot of the popular fantasy sites would tell you to start Palmer. Like if we want to be safe, I mean, in a way, it's a higher upside too. Just grabbing that Chargers game, because that could go that has a much better chance of going nuclear than Colts Steelers.
Yeah, I'm worried Colts Steelers could be an ugly game. But I mean, Pickens did have some. Kenny Pickett did look pretty decent, or at least the best version of him so far.
Andrew Robb likes the Pickens on the bench, Palmer in. So maybe we go with it, Sean.
Yeah, I don't know.
And we do have Brandon Cooks just rotting on our bench as well. So
we stripped him of his C. He's no longer captain of our team. Do we want to put together a DFS lineup, Brian?
Let's do that. Let me throw it on the screen. All right. So you mentioned you already did something fun. What the fuck happened? Oh,
yeah, I have a Mike White lineup. My cash game lineup is Geno Smith related.
All right, give me a second. Answer some questions, and I'll have us ready to go.
Andy Kutansky saying DraftKings just locked Bears Jets from bets. Well, I bet there's someone maybe knows something.
Why would they do that? Because I mean, there's
Alex Jansen saying do a Nate Peterman lineup.
Oh,
I'm pretty sure Trevor Simeon's starting for them. I don't think Nate Peterman started. So my Geno lineup is Geno Smith, Christian McCaffrey, Rashad White, DK Metcalf, Keenan Allen, Garrett Wilson, Trey McBride, who's just a must start for me, and then Jalen Waddle, Chiefs defense, which I imagine Chiefs defense will be pretty chalky.
I mean, I tried to spend a lot of money to get them in high stakes stuff. So
Terrell Furman, shout out to Terrell, saying 5 more likes on this video, and I crashed the stream with a touchdown parlay. They've also apparently pulled a lot of the Michael Carter props. I like any of the Michael Carter receiving props. I think you can get. You should. And Andrew Robb saying Peterman is starting today. I thought I read Trevor Simeon was going.
Well, that's where the move is. I mean,
that's why they locked.
How in your right mind can you bet on Nate Peterman? Do we have to go through some of the highlights of the Nate Peterman experience? I mean, who can forget when he was started over Tyrod Taylor for a half and threw 5 interceptions?
Okay, so this is breaking news, Ryan. Trevor Simeon hurt his oblique in warmups today.
No.
Oh my God, Nate Peterman is starting.
You can't make.
All right, so I guess you have to. I guess now I'm officially switching to the. I still can't take Mike White laying that many points. Nate Peterman's a dog.
I'll disagree with you. I say you can't play Nate Peterman under any circumstances. We've seen that. We've seen it before. And the fact that Trevor Simeon hurt himself means Nate Peterman got no reps. So this is like worst case scenario. I wouldn't take any more money on this game anyway. All right. So what quarterback?
You don't have to bet on this game. Also, I know some people.
Well, we bet on every game, Sean.
There's other options.
Yeah, as I got somehow equestrian just popped onto the TV in the studio. Let's you want to build the lineup?
Yeah, let's go.
All right, so I know it's fancy to go. All right, what quarterback do you want to go then? I mean, you talked about some things you've already done. Anything you haven't done?
I like Geno Smith. What are the? I mean, a Lamar lineup probably not super owned. You could talk me into. I mean, you could even do a Tua lineup. It's interesting.
Yeah. I mean, I
Herbert lineup.
I came to this thinking we should either do a Herbert or a Lamar lineup.
Yeah, let's do a Lamar lineup.
All right. Do we just pencil in Andrews?
Yeah. Right.
Do we have a bring back Kirk?
I think he's going to be fully healthy now. Yeah. I mean, I think it's pretty easy as far as the base of that lineup. You go Lamar Jackson, Mark Andrews, and then you bring it back with Christian Kirk, right?
Already there. All right. So next step off of that would be like, what's the game stack that you want to hit first outside of this game? Because it's a lot of, there aren't a lot of good weather games. So we could just look to. I mean, it does seem like we should go after Chicago and the Jets for the obvious reason, but also, I don't know if I.
Do we go super chalky and put in Michael Carter and Rashad White? Probably insane ownership, but I mean, I don't know. What are your takes on those two?
I'm
like kind of obvious
100%.
plays.
I like Rashad White because I also don't mind game stacking there if we wanted to.
Okay.
We could save some money too. I know his price has come up, but I will continue to like Donovan Peoples-Jones. He seems to be involved. This is the last hurrah for Deshaun or for Jacoby Brissett. He's coming up. I mean, his target last 9 targets, 6 targets, back-to-back 5-catch games with a touchdown. Just a thought. Generally, the weakness of the Tampa Bay Bucks. Weather might
put him in,
but weather
him and Rashad White.
Weather's the problem. Weather's the problem, but maybe we just fade that narrative. I don't know. I'll pencil it in for now.
Well, why don't we look at the Chargers Cardinals game?
Well, I mean, do we finally get Keenan Allen going?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's a big Keenan Allen game.
And do we just then D-Hop, or do we go Hollywood? Sure.
D-Hop, or also again, I like Trey McBride as a cheap tight end.
We already have a tight end in this one.
What's up?
We already
have Andrews. That's right. Yeah.
All right, so let's just see what we're working with salary wise if we do all of what we said. So Lamar, Rashad White, Kirk, Hopkins, Allen, Andrews leaves us with 10 grand. We still have a defense. We still have. So let's get chalky with Carter, like you said. That gives us 4,700 for a defense and a player. So we would double tight end then.
Or what we can, here, I do think maybe we lose Michael Carter, and this is where we get interesting. I do think either Garrett Wilson, Elijah Moore, Tyler Conklin, like one of those. I mean, Mike White is a PPR machine, so one of those guys could catch a ton of passes and maybe we get a little leverage off of Michael Carter. And Elijah Moore is only $3,500. Like he had, I think, a couple 6-catch games with Mike White last year. And I wouldn't be surprised if they're like, hey, let's stick it to Zach Wilson. I'm going to throw you a bunch of balls.
So we'll go Elijah Moore in the flex.
Yeah.
We still have to save money somewhere. We're still like D-Hop kind of put us in a tough spot with this lineup.
Well, are there any cheap viable running backs?
I mean, we discussed a couple of them. Carter being one. Obviously, Jeff Wilson is very attractive this week. With the volume he's going to see. Again,
let's put in Jeff Wilson.
All right, so with Jeff, we only have 700 on defense now, so we have to save to get to the cheapest. Oh shit! To get to the cheapest defense, we'll have to get to 2,200.
Andrew Robb pointing out maybe we drop down Keenan Allen to Josh Palmer. Does that save us enough to get our defense?
Yes, I think so. Let's see. Sorry, I got that's 700 now. All right, so that saves us. Now we're to 1,400. So we would have we'd have to save money off of either Kirk, Wilson, or White.
Wait, you put in Garrett Wilson?
No, Elijah Moore, Jeff Wilson.
Oh, that's Jeff Wilson.
So step one could be we get off of Hopkins. There's obviously some money to be saved there. We could stay in that game if we wanted to, and roll the dice with someone like. I mean, again,
other receivers.
Hollywood's back.
How much is Hollywood Brown?
He's only 5,300. You know, I like playing guys coming off an injury.
Yeah,
he's got the snap.
Yeah, let's put him in.
All right,
and then we might be able to put Michael Carter in, but I don't know if I like.
No, I think all right. So Lamar, Rashad White, Jeff Wilson, Christian Kirk, Hollywood Brown, Josh Palmer, Mark Andrews, Elijah Moore, and we have 3,800 for defense. So if we wanted to correlate like a Miami, we could go Miami defense against Houston.
That's fun.
Let's see if that gives us any wiggle to they're actually too expensive. We can't afford Miami's defense. So uncorrelated, I don't really care what defense we play. Obviously, never care about the
I mean,
defense.
Yeah, I don't know. What's the most expensive defense we can get?
We can get every defense but Miami or San Francisco.
Yeah, I mean, I do like Kansas City.
We could go Jet. Why don't we
Jets
go
defense?
We should go Jets defense and go back to Michael Carter. That's probably the angle. Maybe we pivot off. No,
I think we keep Jeff Wilson in there.
All right, so let's uncorrelate the defense. We do now have Elijah Moore. We can get, if we can upgrade Elijah Moore to someone who costs 4,000. If we don't, because again we have the Jets defense now, and so I don't know if it's the best thing to play that. Although who knows what could happen in that game.
I like Elijah Moore to have a game.
Yeah, he also fits the profile. Just going through other receivers and such, we could afford. Jahad Dotson pops off as a fun stack. MVS is 4,000.
Or what do we? Maybe we just don't stack the. Maybe we get rid of Hollywood Brown or Christian Kirk and just go solo on that.
Well, Kirk is the bring back for Lamar and Andrews.
All
Hollywood is stacked with Palmer. I mean, there's not a ton of. It's like Claypool, MVS, Dotson, and then you have guys like Kendall Hinton who might see volume again potentially. Zacchaeus, like Elijah Moore does stand out from a like. This is very interesting. Let's put him back in. So we have 500 to upgrade, and we can also just leave it on the table. This lineup feels pretty loaded.
Yeah, let's go for it.
The only then I would say, do we swap out Jets defense for any of these? Like, do we put in the Chiefs defense?
Is the Chiefs defense more?
The Chiefs defense is 2,800. The Jets is 3,300. Oh no, that's not more.
Yeah.
I guess we could go up to Seattle or Washington. That's it. I like the. Let's just roll.
I like the Jets defense.
This is a weird team. Let's roll with it. All right.
Let's roll.
Hopefully everyone enjoyed us making a lineup.
Matthew Canole says the resurgence of Elijah Moore starts this week. Plus 360 anytime. I like that. Aaron Luckett saying Jeff Wilson Jr. running for 200 today. Yeah, that sounds pretty fun. I'm on board with that.
What is this shit? Oh, it told me that the Millie Maker was filled up.
Really?
I reserved it. Don't worry. I must have been on the wrong screen. We're in.
Okay.
I hope. Let me just double check.
Brian, confirm our lineup is in.
Yeah, I think you might be in debt some units to me now though. So
all right.
Hopefully we can cash this one. Yep, we're in.
All right, let's go. Any I will kick off some first touchdown bets for Sunday Night Football. Kenny Gainwell continues to be underpriced, considering they give him goal line looks. Like I just got him at 30-1. I like that, and then I think Tyree Jackson is still interesting at 65-1. So those are my early leans. I'm sure I'll tweet out the full list, but get those in while you can. Defensive touchdown picks, Ryan. Any ones you like? I mean, I don't know what the price is, but the Jets to get a defensive touchdown, super chalky, but they certainly have that ability. Anyone's guy making bacon saying Steelers. I do like that. They are the Monday night game, but they could be a fun first touchdown or just defensive touchdown scoring.
I mean, it's always fun to think about taking that Steelers defense against something like that. That feels obvious.
Yeah. And Matt Ryan hasn't unraveled yet. Past couple of games, so that feels like it's due for some regression.
Oh, and by the way, talking about fun prop sweats. I mean, it happened in the past, but as I was watching the shortcut of the Bills game, holy crap, my Isaiah McKenzie play was a fun one to ride. He heavily involved. Yeah, defensive touchdowns. I feel like it's silly, but why not just take Denver and Carolina? Feels like one of the defenses is going to score there. The prices aren't great, but if you're looking for an early game defensive touchdown, that's a little bit lower. Cleveland. Tom Brady. It's bad weather. This team. I understand that we're expecting Rachaad White to go off, but what does Cleveland do, Sean? They're still able to rush the passer a little bit. They're still able to play a little bit of pass defense. So Cleveland at home it seemed like a fun angle to me. Better price too, 650. I'm seeing.
Yeah, that's fun.
Any other props you like today?
What's up?
Any other props you're down on today?
Yeah, let me pull up some props. I mean, again, I like the chalky stuff. I know most of the Michael Carter stuff is off the board.
Well, that's why you got to get it on down early.
Yeah,
like sharps.
True sharps. I'm trying to think of some other props that I really like. Mike Gesicki, anytime touchdown. I saw our buddy Scott Reichel is on that. I also like that one. I think it was around plus 300, but keep an eye on that one.
Terrell Furman throwing out Logan Thomas, Hayden Hurts, Gerald Everett, 132 to 1. I assume that's a TV scoring parlay. I will say, as I'm going through my list of bets this week, and I do have some exposure to Logan Thomas, I'm just going to keep hammering this on top of the fact that he lives in my heart. He was one of the last great quarterbacks at Virginia Tech. He was the last great quarterback before they had Hendon Hooker and then let him go. But as a tight end, he's also best friends with Taylor Heineke. And while I don't think Taylor Heineke is going to have his best foot forward in this game, I do think this could be the best Logan Thomas game. So I like all of his props. I do like Logan Thomas as a standalone anytime. Sean, if I'm having fun with it, I'm certainly going to play like a Deontay Foreman 2 touchdown. The only way Carolina does anything in that game is heavy on the ground. And so just looking there. And then the other game that's not the shit show in New York, the Tennessee Cincy game, everyone is like assuming. I know the total's at 42.5, but I don't see too many people taking unders on the player prop. So I might look to fade maybe some of the Bengals receivers. T Higgins props are quite high. Chase is out. And so we're back to that funnel of Boyd and Hurst and Higgins. So maybe we look to fade that. I mean, Hurst was a winner for us a couple weeks back. I might look to fade the passing game there for Cincy because everyone's going to circle that as an easy matchup.
DK Metcalf, I like his matchup against the Raiders. I think this is a Seattle get right game in a big way coming off the bye. Raiders coming off a win.
You think
Raiders where they?
You think he'll play well, like him and Elijah Moore and all the other Ole Miss guys coming off that big Egg Bowl loss to Mike Leach and the Mississippi's Hail State?
That was a fun game. I mean, the Apple Cup was insane. Colby's probably puking his brains out with all the points that were scored in the.
Is that what the smell in here was when I got in this morning? Anything else you want to throw out, Sean?
Yeah, I'm trying.
Baltimore
to
first half. Do we want to just lock that in as a standalone bet against Jacksonville?
Yeah, toss that in there.
Any crazy bets?
Terrell pointing out he's been 2-3 past 2 weeks on touchdown bets, so round robin those guys as well.
God bless. That's what I'm really thankful for is the ability to play all these bets, parlay them, round robin them, all the stuff you're not supposed to do. They finally figured out they should just let you do it because it's fun.
Yeah, because it's fun. All right. I think that'll do it for the show. Hey, tune in. We will be, an hour-ish after the Eagles game. We'll be talking recap show and give out Monday night props as well. For the Sports Gambling Podcast, I'm Sean, stacking the money green, and he is Ryan.
Sean, wrap it real quick. The big favorite. Which one fails today? Miami, Jets. It's crazy to think the Jets are laying 15 or the Chiefs or the 49ers.
I mean, the Chiefs the
Jets, right?
The Jets. Yeah. Like that's insane. Mike White shouldn't be laying 7.5 points, but also keep an eye on your Los Angeles Rams, Ryan.
No one circles the wagon like the Houston Texans. There, I said it. All right, let's get out of here.
Kramer, let it ride.